we're not recognizing like, but damn, he talked to me crazy. But damn, he don't even take care of his kids. Oh damn, he's not honoring his word to me. He's not even honoring the word to himself. So we focus all on that and the fantasy and the facade, the smoking mirrors, instead of calling a spade a spade. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Pretty Girl Progression Podcast. I am your girl, Sharrell. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you stay. If you've been here before, girl, welcome back. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You already know I'm going to tell you to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you are listening on any of the streaming platforms, do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, follow, like, share, make a review. If you are watching on YouTube, do the same. Follow, like, share. Uh, honestly, the fact that you are giving me your ears for however many times that you've been here, or, whether it be an hour, 40 minutes, 10 minutes, I appreciate you so much for listening, watching. You don't understand how much it means to me. There's a lot of things that I want to get into today, y'all. So let's just jump into it. Today I was thinking and reminiscing about what do I want to talk to y'all about. And this conversation to me is a very timeless conversation. And it really is about what I wish I would have known in my 20s or what I wish I would have done differently. Now, although God makes no mistakes, every trial, tribulation, win, congratulation, everything has led me up to this point right now. So God literally does not make any mistakes. But man, oh man, do I wish that there were some things that could have been done differently. Do I have regrets? No. And I don't think it's contradicting, but follow me, okay? So, I heard actually this is like a Bible verse or someone got it from the Bible. I want to say Proverbs 1 that a smart person, where is it? A smart person learns from their mistakes and a wise person learns from someone else's mistakes. Let me say that again. A smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from someone else's mistakes. And I have friends, I have sisters, and man, oh man, do I wish that I would have take heed to, conversations that we had, or even with my uncles. So first things first, whew, let's go into faith building, y'all. When I was in my 20s, I was easily distracted. I mean, easily distracted from boys to working, and just trying to find my footing in my early 20s. And a lot of the times, me being born and raised in Miami-Dade County, Little Haiti to be exact, there's so much to do. And because there's so much to do, it almost feels like, where is God in this? It's just like you're going, you're going, you're going. And when I look now in my 30s, thinking back on my 20s, I could feel like my higher self yearning for that spiritual food. But it's like I couldn't catch it. I couldn't get a grip, right? So for example, I could find myself opening up my Bible. Why? Because I always remembered my grandmother praying for me. I always could feel her prayers. I always could see her praying for us at the same time every single day. So I always had that foundation. But then when you're in your 20s and you're living alone and you can make your own decisions and own mistakes and all the things, you're not really, at least for me, you don't really see God in the situation. You really don't have time to focus on that. So in my early 20s, I was in hospitality. I was bartending, serving the heart of South Beach, getting more money than I ever thought I could ever make, right? And it's funny that every time I would make more money, I feel like it was pulling me more away from my faith, pulling me more away from just seeking God. Excuse me. And I just wish I had more, not only just friendships that kind of like grounded me in that, but I wish that I could just hear, slow down, girl. This ain't going nowhere. You'll be better off cementing yourself in the Lord, and everything that you want is going to come to fruition, but you have to make a plan. You need to get serious. You need to love on yourself more. You need to, allow yourself to just shine and be great. But you need to, you need that footing. You need your foundation. And really the foundation was God. So I wish I would have really had that. I really wish I would have had more of that in my 20s, because now that I'm in my 30s, baby, me and the Lord, we hand in hand, okay? Like now in my 30s, it's like, God, thank you for waking me up. God, thank you that I'm in my right mind. God, if you want me to build this business, I need you to be my partner. Whereas in my 20s, it was like, I'm chasing this money. Everything was fun, chaotic. I didn't know like my head to my tail type thing. So I wish I would have really been more cemented in my faith. Another thing I really wish I would have learned is cultivating more friendships and honoring more of my friendships and even acquaintances. Like, I made so many mistakes in that department. Now, granted, if you know me, and I'm gonna give you an inside girl on a little bit of more of who I am. I always say it's not always what you know, but who you know. And I don't say that in the sense of like using people or trying to get what you can. But when you genuinely build relationships with people, people F with you. People want to be around you. People want to help you. People God sends people to like be that like divine help mate, help partner, destiny helper. God always does that. So I wish that I would have recognized the friendships that I had then, because some of them, to be honest, were to me irreplaceable. Yet I thought I could replace them. I wish that I would have just loved on certain people a little bit more and had more grace for people. I remember a time when I was in network marketing, right? And if you know World Ventures, I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna have y'all in my business for a second, okay? I was in World Ventures, which was a traveling club. So if you ever seen that "You should be here" sign, I was a part of that crew. We ain't gonna call it a cult. We're gonna call it a crew, okay? Because it wasn't a cult. It was the best time of my life. And them deals really did work. I really did get on a helicopter for $125 and was in Caesar's Palace in Vegas for like less than $200. So they really did work. But the business side of it had me going so cuckoo that certain friendships that I had, I didn't care if they had $10 to their account. I wanted the $10 so they can sign up so I can get to the next level, or just simply because I wanted them to do this with me. I felt like, you're my friend, you should be doing this with me. And I wasn't considering what they had going on in their lives. Again, I was in my early 20s. Like in my 30s, I could easily say people got bills, people get sick, people got family to take care of, people might not even be in their right mind, or people just simply don't want to do it. And that's okay. But in my early 20s, I didn't care. That. I wanted my friends to do what I was doing. And if they weren't doing what I was doing, I felt like it wasn't going to work. I felt like they was haters, all the things. And like I said, like there were certain people that I could not replace, and I wish that I would have just loved on them and respected their boundaries for whatever it is. So, and another thing that I want to say too about cultivating friendships, even if it wasn't a friendship like, we're calling each other on the phone, but let's say an acquaintance. I realized that because I did nurture certain friendships, it benefits me to this day. For example, I was just on the phone with my friend and he was saying like, "Sharrell, you're the same online that you're the same offline." And if I wasn't, I would have been exposed. People would have been called me cap and I could really say like, I'm going to put myself out there before you put me out there. I'm going to genuinely love on you. You know what I'm saying? And nobody could take that away from me. So, cultivating those relationships and being authentically myself, like that's my favorite thing about myself, and I love that I have allowed myself to pour into others and that they feel that love as well. But in my 20s, I could have done it a lot more because it's all about community. It's all like Jesus. Jesus had a community. I'm not calling myself Jesus by any means, but we're literally supposed to be in community together. So I wouldn't have been super like closed off or hidden because a lot of the times I really was hidden in my 20s. So I'll say cultivate relationships and really just love on people, okay? And another thing that I really wish I would have learned in my 20s, y'all, let's get into some dating. Now, that I could have like one of those, I don't know what you call them, but like I could have a roll of paper to just like you can be able to see all the like mistakes or the red flags and even some green flags that I could have learned from. But something really that really cemented my dating life was never settling. Like, there was a lot of times that first, let me rewind. I didn't even know my power when I was in my 20s. I had no idea. But you know what? Who did? Well, first and foremost, God, and then the person that I was with. Sometimes the person that you with can see the brightness in you, and if they're a real one, they're gonna allow you to shine, but if they're not, then you're gonna see yourself, like, dwindling, and you're gonna feel more lost. So, I wish that I never settled in my 20s and I could, like, really pick up more on the red flags. As women, like, we tend to do this thing where we believe every little thing that the guy says. I'm not saying all of us, but when you love a man, baby, you will literally see and hear him lying, but something in you is just like, I just want to save him. And it's like, girl, don't save him. He don't want to be saved? Um, I wish I would have recognized how an ex was jealous of me. And let's get into that, okay? We don't talk enough about guys being jealous of you in relationships. And that could literally be like, how you get treated by other people or them wanting to be the center of attention. Like you were just supposed to be the trophy, but now he's walking in with this trophy and the trophy is shining. The trophy is the Grammy. But it's like, well, no, this is my trophy. She's on my arm. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I would have recognized more of like that jealousy within that relationship. Um, Another thing is, like, to be honest, I probably said this before, but not coming to terms with, just the fantasy of the relationship. I think a lot of us in our 20s make a, big mistake of living in the fantasy and not being in reality of what our situation is. For example, we get excited that he's flying us out. We get excited that, it's our first time doing certain things with him. And we're not recognizing, like, but damn, he talked to me crazy. But damn, he don't even take care of his kids. oh, damn, he's not honoring his word to me. He's not even honoring the word to himself. So we focus all on that and the fantasy and the facade, the smoking mirrors, instead of calling a spade a spade. Like, I wish I would have leaned more into what my uncles were telling me, my brothers were telling me. I wish I would have listened a lot more to the men in my life who really had good intentions for me and t- genuine, ten- genuine intentions for me. Jeez, I had to get that out, y'all. I wish I would have had more of that and took heed to that and not allow like my emotional womanly self to allow the smoke and mirrors to get the best of me. So, I mean, there's just so much more overall that I wish I would have um, learned when I look back in my 20s. But again, by no means is it regret. By no means do I feel like I made so much mistakes where like I can't learn from them. I'm wise enough now to learn from other people's mistake and actually take heed. And I want to say to whoever's listening to this, take heed to the advice that your aunt or your grandma or, your elderly neighbor, whether it be man or woman or even me. Trust me, we literally walked, okay, and crawled so you can run, baby. So, yes, you can't take advice from everyone and be mindful who you take advice from. But when it comes to dating, when it comes to errors in friendships, when it comes to faith in God, take heed to if it is not adding, then it's subtracting. I'm going to just leave you with that, okay? So, as always, queens, I love you. If no one told you today, baby, I love you. You are worthy. You are everything. You are big Empress energy. And may you always know that. And we're a community. So you're never doing life alone. At Pretty Girl Progression, we really say you got to want to make the decision to do better. And when you do, baby, you got a big family welcoming you and ready and applauding you and cheering you on. And we're going to hold you accountable too, if that's what you want. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all are never going to hear me not say that because, baby, it helps the algorithm and be seen. So if you need any tools when it comes to personal growth and wellness, go to www.prettygirlprogression.com. And if you want to just talk, email me at prettygirlprogression@gmail.com. So as always, queen, love yourself.